It's a crazy market out there. If you're a seller, you're loving it. If you're a buyer, I feel your pain. It is very difficult. You've probably written several offers so far. If you're a buyer, write these tips, tricks down. These are just a few, but if you're a new agent, I know you're going to be taking tips on this, but here are a few things that I do to help my buyers win a property. And truly, you need a good agent to negotiate, to understand, create a rapport with the listing agent, to understand what the seller's needs are. That is truly how you're going to provide an offer that works for the seller and that they're going to go with. But here are a couple tips and tricks. Work with your lender, number one, to go through and not just get a pre-approval, but a full conditional approval. That means you've given them all the paperwork. They've come back and said, hey, you are good for X amount of dollars. We have seen it. We have proven it with your 401ks, your W-2s, your pay stubs, your car payments, all of that. And that here's an approval for the property with the exception, the contingency, I should say, of a satisfactory appraisal, a contract, of course, and homeowner's insurance. That looks very good to a seller, way better than a pre-approval that they're kind of guessing through. So do that. Could you consider waiving the HOA or condo addendum? That is the easiest out in a transaction. A buyer has either 5 or 7 days, depending on which it is, to back out of the contract for any reason after they receive the resale package of the HOA or condo docs. Other ideas, I've heard it called a dumpster clause. I call it a trash it now, but basically if it's a house that needs work or has a lot of items in it, maybe you are taking the property as is. Just give us the keys, we will clean it out, whatever it might take. I've seen that happen a few times. Increase your earnest money deposit, right? In our market, 1% has kind of been the standard. Now we're seeing 3, 4, 5%, and even north of that to show intent on the property. So increasing your earnest money deposit if you've got that money in your account. You could also pay the transfer recordation charges. Those are split 50-50 between buyer and seller, but you could pick up the other portion of that. Actually, that looks good because it helps with appraisal concerns too. So something to think about there. Talking appraisal, if the appraisal comes in low, you will pay X over the amount of a low appraisal. Say property was under contract for $450, appraisal comes in at $420, you're willing to give them $10,000 cash to go and make it $430. The seller drops the price $430 and you move forward. We see that one a lot, and in this market, it's not necessarily a bad idea. Buyers want to get the property. They feel if the market continues to go up, then they will get that money back quickly. Seller gives them a comfort zone as well. As is, right? Do a contract as is, meaning you will not come back and nitpick inspection repairs. You will either take it as it is or you will walk away from the contract. Don't ask for closing help, right? It's not necessarily that big a deal. You got to just take your sales price high enough so that it over compensates for the closing help. And I mean over because everything is, all the numbers of the transactions, commissions, transfer recordations off the sales price and not off of kind of the net sales price. And the number one thing, of course, is an escalation clause, meaning think eBay, you will pay X amount of dollars over the other best offer. Now, depending on the situation, I do and don't like those. So that's something to talk about. Those are just a few of the ideas, tips, and tricks that I use, but it all depends on the actual deal. So I know it's a long video. New agents, you're welcome. Buyers, there's a way we activate these and make the deal work for you. So come talk to us. I'll talk to you soon.